you go. So, hopefully, I didn't see no cop. You should come to the rescue of the little birdies and the eggs. That was so cool. If it was really, I don't know, I'm going to look it up sometime, or you can leave me a comment. I don't know if that's true. Little eggs. Geese lay eggs. Is that how the babies are born? Is that how a duck does that? I'm surprised she had them right there. You think she would cover them up somewhere? Is she being inconsiderate? Maybe it was children she didn't watch. I would lie to have gotten video footage of the drive here. But what I've realized since I've been doing things, it's more so or not, it seems like I'm a nuisance or a troublemaker everywhere I go. And one thing I would have to say is kind of like a psychological exercise, mental course, in the fact that if the goal was to be as Christ-like, loving, how about loving? If you were trying to be as loving as a human being as you could potentially be, could you put on a camera and share your day with me? How would you respond to people chasing you out of the sun? Could you still stay loving by the end of the day? I knew that was going to happen. You just know it's going to happen. People say, don't do that, curse yourself. Curse. C-U-R-S. Is that how you spell it? I kind of wish this had on the other side cameras so that you could see where I'm going. And you could see me too, buddy. So what do you think? And if you don't like it, go somewhere else to watch a video, but you'll be back again someday when you see one I made that you like. Da-da-da-da. Hey look, I visited Washington today. Washington. Is that where I shared my story in Washington? Alright, play here. We got about 1.8 miles to go. You know what would be really cool? I'll tell you what would be really cool is while I'm talking, I'd be live streaming and stuff when I'm traveling. And I would have one on my GPS camera, so you can see my GPS in my video. And then I would have one out the window, maybe a 360 or something on top of the roof, so you can see outside, wherever you want to look on the one, and the GPS in the other. And then you would actually, see me talking. The light did not turn red until after I passed the 50-way yard line in the middle of the intersection. What's the law in that? See, then when I travel, we could talk about laws and stuff, and how do you think they apply to us as a driver? Oh my God. I better put on my seatbelt. Oh, we buckle up. But I hate to say that because why? You've heard of tragedies with people who were forced to wear seatbelts. But they don't want to tell you that. They say most likely not. It doesn't matter if it's most likely not or not. The bottom line is if it happened once, who are you to tell somebody else to risk it? I went my whole life without wearing a seatbelt. Not here. A majority of it. My driving test, when I was 16, I wore a seatbelt. Because they would fail you. Freedom of choice. Fail me. Driving school. Test that I shouldn't even have to take. Because if you get a farmer's driver's license, I was raised by a farmer. The property I lived on, the very 1972 that I was born in, was farm property at one time. So, why don't I have a farmer's license? This is a question we should ask. Don't you want people to be educated on how to drive? Not everybody is like Tracilyn. I can't see when I have sunglasses on. Why is that? The screen goes away. I am looking at my GPS. It's bright out here with the sun. I love it. I don't know. You can see behind me. Can you see that? Do I have it up high enough? See, you can see what's behind me. And you know what? Can I tell you something? This kind of took like my rear view mirror. position, there was a time that I decided to take my rearview mirror down. And why was that? Because I had a tendency of always looking in it. My smartphone is in its place. And when I see that, looking back at me again, I get really happy. Only I think the camera should not be on the edge or the top of the smartphone. I think it should be in the center so I can always look at myself just a little bit above it. So I can observe. I'm by the mall. There's some pennies over here. I don't want to kind of like, and I should have another camera that I can kind of like show around where I'm at every once in a while and then put it down. And occasionally, you know, I can put it like down here and stuff. Do stuff like that when I'm driving, you know. I could make money that way, government. Would you like to tax that? Yeah, that would be great. Imagine Tracilyn's driving around town. We can tax that. Oh, my income that I generate from it. I get a percentage, I get a percentage. When the world's way is not working, you gotta think honestly, what works? And that's how Tracilyn learned. And you may think, in the present moment, through bitter eyes, that nobody's interested in that. And Tracilyn and many other people worldwide would say, oh, there's lots of people interested. You see God, words, manifest in the other's brains and they become interested. And if God wants to make use of another human being to toy with you, they will. You like that? I'll do it again. I hope I don't take my video down, okay? Leave it up for somebody who might like it. And when you block it because you don't like it, for your own good, that's a reason to throw a celebration, amen? Huh? That's a reason to do it. But you shouldn't want to infringe on somebody else's right to show what they want. Okay? Maybe my husband-to-be or my best friend-to-be who may be doing the same thing. Say, we should get together sometime and go for a drive. I'll have my panties red. I have all colors, all kinds of colors. I'm at BP gas station. I live by a BP gas station. Miami Spur and Centerville Road. That's where I'm at right now. And if I had the right setup, you'd see my GPS and you'd know where I was. But we'd have to put it on a timer, so you wouldn't know exactly where I was at. I'm good with gas. Getting ready to go down to 75 North Town. And I'm going to turn it off for a little bit. And once I get onto the off-ramp, past this Waffle House. When I think Waffle House, when I say Waffle House, what do you think of? Do you think of breakfast? Do you think of waffles? Do you have moments in there? Coffee? Because when I was down in Tennessee, even before I went down, I was mentioned to about that. Got a lot of songwriters love to go out for breakfast and stuff at the 8 hours in the morning. And I'm not saying which one, but it's in Tennessee. And here's the thing, check this out. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got together some songwriters that lived in Nashville. And I would have to say that I'm looking forward to going down to Nashville, and I wish I had a different setup and I could just stream live all the time when I'm driving and traveling. At least when I feel like talking. It's a lot of video text. But it gives me something to do, So check this out. Time moves on. I'll be going down to Nashville. If not, I'm working on finishing up my project, and that's crucial that I do that first. Then, and only then, after I wrap things up, I'm going to be hitting on down. And I'm looking forward to running into a few nice people chasing me out of the saloon. You can't be videotaping there. Here we go. I used to do this. Check it out. Tractors. I used to do that. Up at the Poconos and above Allentown. Hellertown. You know where Hellertown is? Bethlehem. I used to like to be down in there. I was thinking of relocating down there at one point, just because I thought that was pretty cool. Now, back home. Bye-bye, little drummer. I'm on my way home. It's very sunny. It's raining. I don't see no rainbows. Usually when it used to rain and the sun would shine, you see rainbows. You see rainbows anymore? That would be great in a song. Does anyone see rainbows anymore? Do you see rainbows anymore? I don't see rainbows anymore. I haven't seen a rainbow since rainbow. I'm not a fanatic over rainbows, but there was a season of time when I used to see rainbows. And if I'm not mistaken, I got to see at least one again. And I was told if I could make it to the other side of the rainbow, I would find the pot of water. Have you ever been told that? And have you ever decided to go on a drive and see? It just seems like it goes further and further and further and further and further and further and further. You ever see like coming into the rainbow? Get to the other side. CB handle. How about you, tornado? How about you, tornado? I want to get a CB. How about you, tornado? Are you out there? There's a lot of traffic over there. And let's see, I'm guessing Heidelberg. Yeah, Heidelberg, distributor of fine wine. I wonder how good their wine is. Did you ever try Heidelberg wine? I'm not sure if I ever did, but I wanted to eat at Heidelberg Family Restaurant in Robesonia, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if I ever did. I wanted to someday. I don't know if it still exists. It's funny because it was right down from the stone driveway of where I used to work. And obviously, every time I worked, whenever I pulled in their driveway or out, I would look at it and it just seems like a nice setting, you know, where it was there. And sometimes when I would go out on break and I would be at the top of the hill at the factory, looking out to the road, 422, because I used to like to watch people driving by and stuff. There's a small clearing that you can actually see the cars going both ways. So I used to like to watch cars. Just sitting out on the front porch, like in town and stuff, and watching different vehicles go by, used to be fun to me, something to me. More fun than sitting down and watching TV. It was exciting, the energy, people waving, beeping, you know. And I would have to say that there was many times, especially when I worked second shift, because I would work from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to approximately 2 in the morning. I would take my breaks outside sometime. And occasionally if I went to the restroom, it was downstairs, and there was a door there, and I would open it up once in a while just to look outside. And then I would continue on to go back to my station. I just have to say that it always looked kind of like intimate for some reason. It kind of grabbed me. If you ever like find a place or come across a place, it looks like a place you'd like to go someday that maybe you haven't, but you decide you're going to treat something else there. So it just looks like a nice place to go. So that would be one place for me. And I don't like to eat out a lot of times. I like food and I like to eat out, but I don't eat out a lot of times. And a large portion of the reason is I love variety, even though I might not seem like it because I'm kind of like anti-form. I love diversity. Always wanted to be able to be very free to try a lot of different things, sample different ways of cultures of food and stuff. And that was one thing I'm very glad that I learned a lot of what I've learned. So if I ever end up back in London, Pennsylvania, I'll understand. It's not that it isn't better somewhere else. It could have been a magnificent journey of life witnessing if I would have been taught to surrender to the truth within myself and the fact that I would need a bank account to take care of myself. Which I pretty much have that by instinct. You know, just being true to people, acting like they shouldn't have any entitlement to nothing. Just point that out in the Bible. I can point it out to you in a flash. I would say to people, if the Bible's not real, take it the fuck off the shelf. Because that is serious mental manipulation at its finest. The years of studies and dependency on every word that was in it to learn. In time, I realized that I'm glad that my recording process is finally coming to less songs. I got one more recording session that is about 15 to 17 songs approximately. It's under 12 this time. Miss Las Vegas, some of the greatest songs. I learned when I was surfing the internet, Taylor Swift from New York, I guess, wherever she's from, has some of my, at least portion of my song titles, her song titles. And what I've learned is in 2010, while I was writing and I was bedridden, and I was dealing with a lot, and I didn't know how to take care of myself, I was staying at Catherine's. I have learned that people were on my email accounts, and they were also on my hard drive. So as I was writing my songs, extremely corrupted people, I would call them Satanists. They are for their lies, and they use people's resources, and when they know somebody has quality stuff, you will find those things popping up around the world. You think that's how people can afford to buy $18 million homes? So just go onto people's computers and steal their shit. I was told by a good friend of mine, you know, when I wrote one of the songs I got ready to record, that the way the government is, there's no sooner is somebody doing something in the privacy of their home, make an invention or something, if they don't like it, like other alternatives to fuel, will bust in, pretty much so, and confiscate what it is that they're doing. Do you think that's a government of love? It's pathetic. And I realized firsthand, instead of people working with you, all these people not working with you, psychological, mental communication devices, wrecking people's relationships, etc., etc., you will find out. I learned psychiatrists who were saying that I was suffering from like hallucinations and stuff. Can I tell you something? Hallucinations don't exist. That is direct assault, psychological warfare. No hallucinations. It's real. Thank God I didn't, and I learned. I have burn marks. See my arms? See how they're marked up? That's from being assaulted in Dayton, Ohio. Air Force, what are you doing about it? You have a plane that can fly up there to outer space, as you call it, and solve the problem, because there's probably an entire planet up there. I wonder how much balls the Air Force actually has when they realize it's a whole other planet that's assaulting human beings on planet Earth. Will they strike against them for assaulting us? Or will they run like cowards? See, because when they go over to other countries that would be perceived as weaker, then they're dominating. They're dominating. But if it's a whole entire other planet, pretty much piss their uniform colors. I don't know, you tell me. Leave a comment down below. Do you think if the military highest rank in the United States of America, land of the free, do you think if they learned that there is a whole other planet up there, very tall, mean aliens, using equipment to psychologically torment and live through the human race? What do you think the Air Force would do? Do you think they'd build a spaceship and we're going to fly up there and take care of us? Who do you call at a time like that? We're here in town. We're moving on up to the what? I finally got a piece of pie. Beans don't fry in the kitchen. I love that song a lot. And I noticed that a lot of the things that when I was recording, I have a very childlike mentality and I get really excited about stuff. Despite me being harassed, I get extremely excited. I have to build myself up as much as I can to endure the long days till midnight stuff, like recording my music. I take naps, you know, like a little child. I'm taking lots of naps. It's tiresome. So, with that being said, I realized that The ideas of things that I conversated with by myself, I do a lot of talking to myself throughout the day. I've noticed that my ideas were being used through others. Whatever it is, if I'm dancing or something and acting silly in my apartment, I'm noticing that within a limited amount of time. And I would say by the time you write one song, within 2 years you will realize that somebody signed to what they would perceive as a major label is some way, shape, or form using your ideas. The concept to this is, I don't really believe, in my opinion, that it is direct human. It might be. But it's either mental-to-mental communications where they're swapping people's mind connectivities together. That's pretty scary when you think about that. In other words, they could connect your mind to my mind. Now when we're thinking, oh, where did that thought come from? That would be funny in a movie, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's funny in a movie, but in real life, is it really funny? What are they connecting to? What kind of people? Or something else? Then, and I do mean then, you will realize that it could be that another who thinks they're superior than the human race life forms are living through the human race, and where you see the biggest dominancy of anything like singers, songwriters, recording artists, bands, and they're most likely that they would be in with it. And they are pretty much, in my opinion, confused with the fact that that's not them. The human being is not them. But in their opinion, it's probably more them than it is the human being that was before they started to do something. And what they try to do is they try to navigate the human's direction psychologically to what they want them to, whatever agenda they have. If only confusion. In other words, keep them distracted from things that are beneficial for authentic genuine life. We're going to come in here and get a slice of pizza, then we're going home. Alright, so I'm going to be turning this off. I don't get out very much. This should be fun to edit. I'm going to go in here and get a slice of pizza, a flying pizza, and then I'm going to go home. I don't know if I'll have parking in or around the apartment complex I live in. And I would have to say that one thing for sure is recording my music and not having the details in alignment with what the hell I wanted to begin with has been very stressful for me. Okay? So I would have to say that I don't have too much regret for saying anything that I say. I can't believe how asinine, whatever it is, the ones who are harassing me with mental communication, okay, sizzling my skin. See that? See that? Look at it. You see that there? You think that burned a little bit? You think it's electricity? What pisses you off even more, me, is I met a son of a bitch that supposedly has something to do with Patriot Energy upstate New York. Considering that there's a whole lot of talking about energy, I would have to say that I'm pretty certain that they can literally transfer data through things of energy resources, whether it's directly from your brain. They can control butterflies. Okay, I see them. They can control butterflies. They can control deer. I told you about my deer stories. That was them. If you find yourself in a situation where you're going through a season of time and animals seem to be on the hood of your car more often than you care for, or the other years of your life prior, more in less than a year, it could be that these people are assaulting you. They get into the minds of the deer and they herd them together, and they're having them stand in the middle of the freaking road.
realized where a lot of the bullying was coming from throughout my life, and I'm looking forward to giving a call to some of the schools that I attended. In the other schools, I don't feel I have that obligation to call every school. But I want to call the schools that I attended because I'm convinced that the kids are not safe when they go to school. They are psychological work and the signs and things to look for. People would have heard me out, and I could have got my needs met when I said I need to get them met. I could have got into a safe home, embraced in love. I could have got my life together in a manner. It says circumstances might not be the greatest, but at least number one, I'm familiar with the area. A whole lot of shit. If you realize that since the first time I mentioned about getting my needs met in a different way than what would be the norm, the years that I went through all kinds of shit. Today, I realize that I got a message for anybody out there who's considering ministering to others. Love yourself first. Never put another human before you. Because without you, you don't exist. And at the end of the day, you might be a lucky one. You're all that you got. I think I learned enough that when it comes to ministering, we should be ministering to ourselves on a moment-to-moment basis. We should never stop. It's not about giving up or not. Don't give up. It's what you psychologically hold on to. You want to hold on to things that are beneficial for life to you, in my opinion, very strong. And the things that are not beneficial for life, we don't want to meditate on. And if you are meditating on them and you can't stop, you might be assaulted by psychology technology. If you would notice, if you pay attention, be still in a very quiet area. You can record by your head. Eye comes in during the left side a lot of the times. Left side of the brain, it penetrates more in the back. It's where they penetrate you. And it does hurt sometimes. A lot. Now I'm recording my music. That's my fourth and my third albums. I have at least one for sure, but I have two more. And then I would say on top of that, I think I have another two after that. I got some songs that I wrote. And can I tell you, if it would have worked out more in alignment with my idea of couth, I wouldn't be as miserable in my circumstances because I wouldn't even think about it. See, when people try to tell you to do the same thing that you did as a source of income for nearly over a decade as an entertainer, period, to tell you to do shit for free and for all the wrong reasons you didn't want to do it before when you were, that'll get your mind down. Why would people be that cruel? There are other ways of going about things. Unfortunately, you can't be connected to human beings that are consistently in opposite belief. It wouldn't work out that way. If you'd stop saying it wouldn't work. I heard when I was a teenager into my early 20s, while we were standing outside, probably at Ronald S. Woodmoyer's parking lot, farm tractor. Let's use the number 20. While 20 people are conversating over what could be done, should be done, or will be done, one person walked away, or they walked turning back, seeing it's already done. I'm one of those people that was in and out of bands ever since junior high school. I witnessed what I witnessed, and I was struggling with it throughout my life. I truly wanted to do anything else. I wanted music to be a hobby for me because I didn't see myself as being that talented. I didn't see myself as being good enough throughout my teen years. I wanted to get better. I wanted to do things. I wanted to have fun with it because I loved music and I didn't know much about entertaining at that time, and so I didn't really think of it like that. I didn't think of it as entertaining. I thought of it as doing music. But you know, I went my whole goddamn fucking life and I never really connected with people to do anything musically well. I ended up crossing paths with a lot of people who said they did, and then I found out bullshit. So then, through all the bullshit, I ended up being Ken Psych. I ended up doing it. He took me under his wing about a year and a half, and then away I went. Meanwhile, all these Christian speakers are acting like, you know, you're a person who's alone is selfish. Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe I'm not so selfish and self-centered, okay? Now I'm in my studio and I'm doing everything all by my fucking self. And I realized that what God showed me through the servanthood all by myself. It wasn't by myself. And the truth of the matter is, I laugh at the bands that I used to admire most of them. And I acknowledge that the first thing any band or songwriter or recording artist, especially those down in Nashville, before you pick up a pencil and start to write, you should make it right with God and yourself. Nobody wants to conversate or sing about the things that come out of your mouth. And most people, if they were intelligent, don't want it lingering around in their brain as they go about their day. They knew what was best for them. So I'm learning as I go. I like my own issues and songs. They knew what was best. I don't want to listen to somebody else's issues and songs, okay? Listen to the words. Pay close attention. With that being said, it's time to goodbye. I don't know if that's going to be on my video, but it is for now.